What's going on, everyone? So, when you are picking from the draft, it is a real gamble, right? Whether it's a lottery pick or it's somebody that is in the second round. You're always trying to find and scout talent. You're trying to find that diamond in the rough. Every once in a while, you get lucky and you find that person, right? I mean, great example, Jaime Jaquez for Miami, Pod for the Warriors, right? Like, there's every draft a couple guys that not even necessarily stars. Sometimes you get that, Nikola Jokic, that Giannis, right? That's just like mid to late draft or in the second round, even Draymond Green, where you just hit a home run with that. But even just like quality role guys that can make an impact immediately or even just like a year or so down the road, right? Lakers, Austin Reeves. No, he wasn't drafted, but he had an opportunity to be drafted. He just wanted to kind of force his way to Lakers. But it's like, man, you get that right guy, boom, all of a sudden it hits and it can change a lot, right? It can have that impact. But it's still a gamble, right? I mean, we've had number 1 picks flop, we've had top 5 picks flop, and we've had guys in the 17th pick flop, right? So for the Lakers, they need to find ideally the best player available. And did a video on the Lakers draft direction and, kind of breaking down how you should play that out. But essentially, right, like to me, it's especially that late in the draft, you want to take the best player available, right? If there's a margin, right? So say they work out 10 guys. It's like, okay, this guy is by far the clear-cut guy, right? Okay, cool, you take him. Right? Whether it's a guard, whether it's a forward, whether it's a center, whatever. Because again, you want to try to take the best data, smartest, properly due diligence type of pick, right? You don't want to take the result like, oh, this guy's clearly the best, and then you go and take this guy. Now, there are sometimes circumstances, right? For example, the Lakers with JHS. Lakers, they weren't planning on playing a rookie. Right? They wanted to go and get the guy that they were high on that they could use as a development guy that could spend the next 2-3 years developing and still be young enough to kind of step in. A lot of people are like, oh, Jaime Jaquez, right? Should have taken him or Cam Whitmore, whatever, right? But like Jaime Jaquez, for example, is like 4 years older or 3 years older than Jalen Hood-Schifino. So Jalen Hood-Schifino could spend the next 3 years growing and developing and then be the age that Jaime is right now. But on the other side of that, if they did take a Jaime Jaquez, you kind of need him right now. You can't really you could, but it's like at that point, he's 26, 27. It just kind of defeats the purpose, right? You're in this rut. But outside of that, I think you always try to take the best player available. If it's close, then I think you take the position of need, right? If you got, let's say, a guard that is the best player, but there's a center that's like you think is right on par, maybe slightly worse, then I think you go center route. But sometimes you have circumstances on various players that end up impacting and you see them slide, right? Cam Whitmore, he had injury concerns and he had character issues, right? It's a big thing. Michael Porter Jr., right? Was basically a lock to be the number 1 pick. And all of a sudden, he slides to, draft 10th by the Denver Nuggets? So, now you got reports that Nikola Topic has a minor partial tear in his ACL, right? They're trying to kind of say, like, it's not a big deal, right? But this is now the 3rd injury to his knees that he's had, and that's got to scare some people away. Now, there is some thought that it's not really going to affect his draft stock just because this draft is so weak that this isn't like some top tier draft to where it's like, there's other safer bets, take them, right? It kind of, many consensus is like, hey, teams are probably still going to take him just because he's that talented, that skilled, and he's young enough to where, he's 18. He won't be 19 till August. So you could have him sit out a year. You could have him sit out 2 years if you need him to kind of get his body right, get his knees right, get everything good, and then you end up having that. But if he becomes available at 17, that makes things really tough in my opinion, right? Now, look, if I'm being honest, I think it's very unlikely that he falls to 17, right? But people didn't think Michael Porter Jr. was going to fall to 10. And Michael Porter Jr., again, he was like consensus number one pick. Like, it wasn't even a debate until he started having all the issues he had. He missed his rookie season. We've seen several guys that have fallen down the pecking order. Again, Cam Whitmore was supposed to be a top 3 to 5 pick, and he ended up being taken, what was he taking, 19th, 20th, something like that? So, like, again, sometimes these guys fall, right? Now, I think a team more likely than not, because this is such a weak draft, I do think somebody will take him, like, even in the top 10. I think he still goes top 10. I don't think he's going to be a top 4 pick, right? There was a lot in the beginning, a lot of like, hey, the Spurs are probably going to take him, right? Spurs probably want Topic, right? But now it's like, I could see them going a different direction now. He probably skids a couple spots, but I could see him still being taken in the top 10. At worst, probably the top 15. If we had like the 12th pick, I actually think it might be, it might be a possibility, but 17th, I think it's a little rough. But if it's there, you got to take him, one. But two, at that point, do you even trade the pick? Like, I think depending on what it is, yes. But so like right now, I fully believe the Lakers are going to trade the 17th pick. I do. I mean, they're not even working guys out right now at 17. I do think that they will, just for due diligence at some point, but they're not really making the 17th pick a priority, clearly. They're working out guys, but it's all 55th to undrafted guys, right? So it's not guys that the Lakers are like, oh man, we really like this guy around 17. So I just think that the Lakers kind of already have their minds made up. Hey, we're trading this pick. But if you could land, if he, for whatever reason, skid, you get a couple people that are like, I don't want to take the risk, right? Like, let's let him go. And he ends up falling to 17, or maybe Lakers can move up to, like, say 14th and take him, or 15th and take him, something like that. Do you do that? Now, again, before somebody's like, yeah, but the injuries, this and the other, could have said the same thing about Michael Porter Jr., right? Michael Porter Jr. he have like back surgery and stuff. Like, he was a guy that they were worried. And then he came back and then got hurt again and only played like 9 games one year. So again, like, to me, it's like, if you can get what many believe could potentially be the best player in this draft at 17, or say you move up and you go to 15 or something, right? I don't know if it would be worth it to get to the top 10. However, this draft is perceived so weak, maybe it wouldn't take that much to get there. But I also wouldn't want to give up a bunch of, like, I wouldn't want to give up like a 2 firsts or something like that, right? So to me, it's kind of like, if it kind of falls in your lap, I think you take it. But more so, like, what I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on is, like, if he does fall and the Lakers are able to draft him, right? Like, at that point, do you just keep the pick and go like, man, like, do we really want to run the risk of him coming in, or we drafting him and then we trade him and he goes and becomes what he's projected to be? And it's like, man, like, we had him, like, he was on the roster, right? Like, people are upset about, like, Jaden McDaniels and, DeAndre Hunter at when back yonder, right? So, and neither of those guys are, don't get me wrong, Jaden McDaniels is pretty nice, but, like, they're not what Topic is supposed to be, right? Like, he's supposed to be, like, this great combo guard, play the point, can handle the ball, make plays, but, play the 2 guards, shoot the ball, pass the ball. He's got good size, good length, good IQ, good vision. Like, he's a guy that many believe, like, that guy's going to be a star. It is a risk because of the injuries, obviously, right? Because, has had 3 knee injuries, but at 17, right? If you had like the 3rd pick, I think you'd go elsewhere. I think you look and, draft the SARS or something like that, right? But at 17, I think you do it. I think if he's there, you grab him. And then I really think you start to think of, like, maybe we should keep this pick. Maybe we shouldn't do this, because, like, this could be, like, our franchise guy, or like, or at least one of the guys that we're building around post LeBron and even post Anthony Davis. And again, he's 18. He won't be 19 till August. So, like, you could literally just sit him this season, sit him for a year or two, and just go, right? Like, hey, like, take a seat, develop you, right? Get healthy, get right, take the year off, and then we'll bring you in maybe next year. It's a thought. I mean, because if he's, many people think he's going to have an impact immediately. If he really does, then talk about a guy that could be beneficial for the Lakers like now, and again, be a big cornerstone for the future. But the injuries are definitely a concern. But he's just so young, and technology nowadays, like an ACL tear, it's a partial tear, right? But even like a full ACL tear is not what it used to be, right? Like, it's not even close. That's just like that's routine now. So anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Think the Lakers should, if he falls to 17, do you think draft him? Yes. Do you think like, no, like, stay away from him, right? Do you think he's not going to fall? Would you want to move up and take him? Like, let's say you can move to 12th or something and end up drafting him. Like, let's say he's there, beyond the top 10. And it's like, man, maybe we trade for, would you want to move up? If so, like, what would you be willing to give up? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot, so we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Now subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.